face validity when it comes to selection and assessment. Now, face validity, as opposed to, say, construct validity or predictive validity, it really refers to just how much an assessment looks like it's measuring its intended psychological or physical construct. Okay, that's kind of what it is. It's whether or not superficially, on the face of it, it looks like it's doing the job. In and of itself, face validity is inherently advantageous, and particularly in the selection and assessment setting. Mostly, in fact, I would argue almost entirely from a candidate experience perspective. So, for example, if you have a suite of ability tests and they look like they are measuring certain skills, traits, abilities which are important to the role and to the organization, it looks like that on the face of it, that's obviously going to be an advantage. The candidate will see the questions and think, okay, I see the connection. The problem, and a lot of organizations fall into this trap, is they consider face validity effectively the only type of validity, the only thing that matters. Now, there's two problems with that. First of all, it is not the only thing that matters. It is a relatively superficial thing, which will help with attrition rates and it will help with providing a good candidate experience. But as soon as face validity starts limiting actual validity, how well an assessment actually predicts performance in the workplace or measure its intended construct, that's an unacceptable trade-off. Then you are looking at a really big disadvantage of that assessment. The other problem is that organizations will often pay too much premium for face validity. For example, imagine you were again using ability tests and you have the option of using an off-the-shelf ability test, which has a whole range of different scenarios, questions about finance and marketing and general statistics and so on. Or you could get commissioned a bespoke assessment, one designed specifically to, say, banking. Except that option is substantially more expensive, orders of magnitude more expensive, which of course is going to eat into budget and is not going to enhance the actual predictive validity of the assessment. But it will give the candidates a marginally better assessment and you probably get slightly lower dropout rates. But that is often not the case. Often organizations think it's only going to predict performance if the questions are all superficially relevant. In fact, you can use cognitive assessments which are extremely non-face valid. Very simple working memory tasks which involve remembering sequences of numbers. Those will predict performance just as well. And we have 100 years of evidence suggesting that would be the case. But, again, from a candidate experience perspective, they're not going to receive it as well. And so it's something you do need to keep in mind, but it is not something you should be bending over backwards to achieve. And it's definitely not something you should be paying a huge premium for. Actual validity, the actual predictive validity, the actual construct validity, and indeed things like reliability and precision. These are proper quality control statistics that you would need to keep an eye on, and that should predominantly determine the assessments that you use. You should not be a slave, fundamentally, to the concept of face validity. It's going to cost you more money, and it's going to cause you to choose assessments which superficially do the job, but may not actually do it in practice.